Hi everyone, it's me again, Dover Knight 123, and today we are doing a top 10, and that top 10 is going to be top 10 favorite movie games, and these are my personal opinions, so in the comments, definitely, share your favorite movie games if you have one. I'm actually gonna scoot back up, I am way close to that camera. Anyways, though, let's get started with an honorable mention, which is the Cars video game that I mentioned in my top 10 Disney games. And Dober, Dad, you can explain this one. Dober?
Well,
Oh, okay. Dober, Dad is in, guys.
I think that it's a good game for the age group it was meant for. Um, the graphics, I mean, for what was it on PS2? Outdated, but not bad. It had options to paint your car, which I like to customize stuff. So I like that aspect of it. It's got different areas you can go into, so you don't get bored of playing the same thing over and over, and just the little mini missions. I liked it for what it was. It was a good game for a kids racing game. If you're a kid and you like racing, I thought it was great. Um, Now I like the Forzas for racing games, the Need for Speeds. But if I was a kid in that age bracket, it's a good game.
Yee, he did his presentation. So let's actually get started with number 10, which this is also no specific order, Spider-Man 2, not Amazing Spider-Man 2, but the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. And in my opinion, this is second, or I just said second, the second best Spider-Man game ever made. So yeah, obviously pretty good. That's why it's on this list. It has a really awesome sandbox feel that you can do all kinds of missions and stuff. Plus, since you're Spider-Man, you can web swing and crawl up walls, which is pretty awesome. Or you can just beat the crap out of villains from Spider-Man, or just take it out on mooks. So that's pretty good. And the story is based on the movie with a couple of its own plots that keep you interested. Plus, the gameplay is just really fun, and the graphics are pretty good for its time. So that is why it earned a spot on this list. And here we go to number 9, which is, I do not know if this is a movie game, but I'm pretty sure it is. So this might be cheating, but Scooby-Doo First Frights. Now, I put this on here because I'm pretty sure that it was based on Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins, which I honestly did not care for the live-action Scooby movies, like none of them. But this game luckily had more cartoony designs, had a little more inspiration from the old cartoon and Scooby-Doo Where Are You also, so it wasn't completely movie-based, and it doesn't really have the plot of the movie, but it's kind of like a mystery game, because like First Frights Mystery Begins, and then there's actually a option on the menu where you can go to videos which have some cutscenes from the game, but they also have like 6 or 7 clips from the Mystery Begins movie. So I think it's a movie game, so sorry if it's not, guys, but you know me, I'm weird and put stuff on lists anyway. So there we go. Let's move on to number 8, which is TMNT, the 2007 movie. Now, this is actually going to be kind of another cheat spot because it's 2 games in one spot, but they're still based on the same movie. So, you know. Plus, both are really good. So, let's start with the console version. The console version, of course, has the story of the movie. Both of them do, so nothing really to explain there if you don't know what the story of the movie is. Just type in like TMNT 2007, it'll give you the story, I'm guessing. So they're both based on the movie. The console version is mainly a platformer, and since Ubisoft made this and saw that their Prince of Persia game did insanely well, they decide, hey, let's make a Ninja Turtle game. Since they're acrobat, let's take some ideas from the Prince of Persia. So of course you can jump onto walls, crawl around on those. You can wall run. You can um, double jump and stuff like that. That's in a bunch of games though, double jumping. So yeah, but also in the console version, to state um, more with traditional Ninja Turtle games, they have some fighting segments where it's beat 'em ups, and those are pretty good. They're kind of repetitive, but they don't like make it super repetitive because you can mix some combos. I'm pretty sure there's team attacks that you can pull off, which are pretty unique for each turtle. Each turtle has their own ability. And technically, since Nightwatcher is in the game, which is Raphael, he actually has an ability as Nightwatcher, so technically 5 different abilities, 4 team attack moves. And, pretty, good. Like, if they don't try to make it insanely boring, so that's pretty nice. And overall, even if you just button mash, it's not absolutely horrible. So yeah, the console version is good. I like the GBA version quite a bit, the Game Boy Advance, because it's more of a River City Ransom, Streets of Rage, old school arcade Ninja Turtle game feel where you pretty much just side scroll and beat the crap out of everything. And for both versions, their graphics and bosses are pretty good. So yeah, that is why it is on the list. Number 7, SpongeBob Hero Pant. I'm just kidding. Who would even think of putting that on a best movie games list? I have no idea. The real number 7 is SpongeBob the movie game. So let's just dive into this one real quick because this is a pretty darn awesome game. So THQ and Heavy Iron made this, and those were back in the good old days of SpongeBob games when Heavy Iron made the games. They know that Battle for Bikini Bottom was hugely accepted as an awesome game at fans, guys. So, they pretty much took that formula and expanded upon it at the game or movie game and added a couple new tweaks. Personally, I think Battle for Bikini Bottom is better, but this one is pretty darn awesome because while it takes liveries from Battle for Bikini Bottom, the story of this game, by the way, guys, is of course the story of the movie. Pretty much all of them have that. The graphics are amazing for its time, and Heavy Iron, unlike, Activision, they actually watched SpongeBob. They were huge fans of the show, and they actually put effort, Activision, why don't you listen to this, they put effort, watched the show, and watched the movie, and actually put time and effort into making a game instead of just, putting some things together and just, here you go, here's your new game, it's horrible, but buy it anyways. They actually gave you a reason to get the game. So yeah, it's a very good platformer game. Number 6 is Dragon Ball Evolution. Once again, I am joking, dear Yoshino. It's another Spider-Man game, actually, which is, this might be a weird opinion for number 6, but, Spider-Man, the first Sam Raimi-based Spider-Man game, which I honestly, like. It's basically a tweaked-up movie story version of the PS1 and, Nintendo 64 game, Spider-Man 2000. I think it was actually made in 2001, I'm not sure. I think this game came out a year after, so they basically took that formula, made a couple tweaks in. A pretty good game. Has the beat 'em up style, kinda. You can swing around the city in some levels, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it was pretty awesome. You can unlock bonus games like wrestling in the game, alternate costumes. There's even a dang bowling game where you play as Tobey Maguire. And whoever made that, guys, is obviously a genius. Number 5. Once again, another Spider-Man game, guys. I'm sorry, people make really good Spider-Man movie-based games, guys. Amazing Spider-Man, the first one. Activision, once in their lives, put effort because, well, Activision puts effort in the Spider-Man games, and in my opinion, that's about it. So, Amazing Spider-Man has a swing around the city sandbox feel, which is pretty good, and there's old dad giving me the dang bobbin head with a smile. But has that sandbox swing around the sea feel, has some beat 'em up elements. It's kind of like a Spider-Man combat version of Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, so that's pretty cool. There's quite a bit of unlockables. The story is kind of unique compared to the movie where there's an outbreak of mutation instead of just beat the lizard. So it's a pretty good game. Number 4, once again, Spider-Man. People make way too many good Spider-Man movie games, guys. I'm serious. They have way too many. It's gonna make me dang salty. And this, like the Scooby-Doo First Frights game, this might be a little bitching, but that is Spider-Man Web of Shadows Amazing Allies Edition. In other words, the PlayStation 2 version of the game, which I qualify it as a movie game because this came out about a year after the Spider-Man 3 video game, and it has a lot of elements, well, in my opinion, from the third movie. Has the black suit. Venom is the main villain. There's Sandman, and I don't think New Goblin is in it. So yeah, and it has kind of a unique story. And the gameplay is, or did I seriously just forget to explain the story? It's a symbiote outbreak, basically, and you gotta stop it there. The gameplay is a side-scrolling beam-up, except they don't try to make it super monotonous because you can swing around the city and stuff. You can stop crimes in progress. You can talk to people and make your own choices of what you say to people. The graphics are pretty good. There's the black and red suit. Each have their own abilities. And you can do a special move where another Marvel character hero comes in and helps you out, which I think is pretty darn good. So number 3, once again, I just might as well have put movie games, including a ton of Spider-Man ones. Once again, another Spider-Man game. Okay, I'm about to lose my mind of how many good Spider-Man movie games there are. Spider-Man Friend or Foe, based on the third movie. And this one is a little more accurate to the third movie. It is pretty much movie-based because all the designs and stuff are based on all the Sam Raimi movies. The story, though, is basically that Mysterio has put mind control on all the villains, so they actually help you out, and yeah, just pretty neat. And they have a couple other Marvel heroes. The graphics, by the way, in this one are very good for its time. That's just me, though, especially the CGI cutscenes. They do not make combat monotonous, in my opinion, because, like, it's already fun to begin with. You can pick up things from each character, plays differently a bit, and there are tons of characters. There's Spider-Man, Black Suit Spider-Man, New Goblin, Green Goblin, Venom, heck, even Wesley Snipes' version of Blade, Black Cat, Prowler, the Lizard, Rhino, all kinds of people, Doc Ock, pretty much just tons of people to play as. It's especially fun co-op mode. There's upgrades for health and power, and in the web lab you can upgrade your webs, make them do all kinds of different things, and there are a bunch of team special moves. There are plenty of levels, and it's actually a decently long game, because there's about 5 worlds, I'm pretty sure, and each one has like 3 or 4 levels on them, and each level is about 13 minutes long, except the boss battle ones, which are decently short usually. And it's just a really fun game, in my opinion. Number 2 is by far going to be, this might be really weird because no one actually, that I know of, actually much cares for this game, but it is the 3DS game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, based on the Michael Bay movie. And this is probably going to weird you guys out and be like, huh? But I actually do like this game. You can explore, you can, beat bad guys up. This would be like at very number 10 though, because basically just beat some bad guys up and stuff and explore. There's some puzzles. Each character though has their own unique attacks, their fighting style, special moves, and special abilities that you can use. There are side missions, cheat codes, upgradable and unlockable weapons, and you can buy different items. It's not a super long game once you figure out where to go. Like, if you know where you're going after you beat the game is about, I'd say, like 2 hours long, maybe 2.5 hours if you just take your time. But luckily, there's side missions as well, like I mentioned, so that is pretty nice. The story isn't completely from the movie because they have a couple villains, like Slash the Rat King and Baxter Stockman, but the story is actually Baxter Stockman is helping Shredder, and there are all kinds of mutants that you need to stop. So yeah, just an okay game, but it's pretty good, I guess. So let's move on to number 1, which is a game I somehow forgot to mention in my top 10 Disney video games by putting the cons, I think, which is the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo Lion King game. Now, this could have been a cash grab, obviously, but they actually did really good on this game. The graphics are good. The story is based on the movie. The music is awesome. It's a platformer, which is pretty cool. Like, at the beginning, it's pretty heavy on platforming, but later, like when Simba grows up, you get a couple swipe attacks. The bosses are pretty good. The graphics are good. And it's just a really fun game, in my opinion. And they try to add some different things. Like, there are mini games in between some levels, and there is even a Stampede level. So yeah. Plus, who can forget the awesome fatality that you beat Scar with at the end of the game? So overall, it's just a good game. And that was my top 10 movie games. I'm sorry, guys, there were so many Spider-Man games on there. I'm really sorry about that, but they just made a bunch of good Spider-Man movie games. And I'm sorry I kind of cheated with a couple, but you know, if you did like this video and you want to, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, or just comment button. Only if you want to, though. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Dober night. 1, 2, 3. Peace.